Ooh, baby. Grand Rising, Kings, Queens, in-betweens. It's time to rise and thrive and elevate your mind with another beautiful one-of-a-kind video, if you know what I mean. Look. Focus on creating and looking at thoughts that empower instead of devour. Because a lot of times, our mind can get in the way of how we feel. Let me say that again. Focus on thoughts that empower instead of devour. Because sometimes our mind can torment and get in the way of how we feel about certain things that are happening around us. A famous African proverb is, once the enemy within has been defeated, the enemy without can do you no harm. And I know it may be difficult. I know it may be challenging, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible, baby. Life is always equal parts good to bad, happy to sad, dark and light, wrong and right. But where you put your focus and your attention, that's what you're gonna see grow. So if you can't change it, we need to learn how to move past the feeling of not being able to change it and focus on what we can do. Focus on what we can create. Focus on how we can counter the way that we are currently feeling. And I know it's challenging, like I said. But you can do it. You just gotta try something new. Because if we continue to act in the same ways, we continue to think in the same ways, we continue to do the same things, you're not gonna get anything new. You're not gonna get any new results. You're just gonna keep creating more of what it may be you don't want. I know it's tough, but every now and again, we just gotta sit back, relax, and we just gotta breathe, baby. We just gotta breathe, and we gotta learn to let it go. Because life, man, life is bigger and more important and more amazing than a lot of the things that we get hung up on a regular basis. I've said it before in a video, and I'll say it again. Don't let anyone or anything shake your tree to the point you start dropping them fruit, baby. You gotta understand that how you respond is everything. How your attitude dictates the energy around you. People are like magnets, baby. We attract what we put out. There's power in the way you think. There's power in the way you speak. You have what it takes. Every now and again, you gotta take the road less traveled. You gotta try something you haven't tried before. You gotta believe in a way you may not have believed before. People always say, but how do I do that, man? You just gotta be bigger than how you're feeling. Emotional intelligence in a nutshell. You gotta be willing to think beyond the way that you feel. That's it. People always say, how do I do that? Well, how are you doing what you're currently doing? Focusing so much attention and energy on something that is doing nothing but draining you. You do that same thing that you're doing now that's blocking you from your blessings, and instead you shift it and you start putting all that time and that energy and that focus towards things that, like I said at the beginning of this video, empower you instead of devour you. That's it. But you gotta be willing to create that shift inside yourself. There's no magic trick. There's no magic fairy dust. There's not just praying and wishing and hoping. There's ambition. There's taking action. And there's really making it happen. Listen, man, if it was easy, honestly, it wouldn't feel as good when you overcome and you achieve. Sometimes the biggest struggles in our life lead to the biggest blessings. But you can't counter that low frequency with a low frequency. You gotta take the high road, baby. You remember when you were growing up? Sometimes the adults ahead of you might have said, take the high road. Don't give in to those people. And you know, the older I get, the more I realize, man, if I just would have listened. Because when you play dumb games, you win dumb prizes. You gotta be willing to create the shift and realize that you're working towards something greater than a lot of other people out here. Just your willingness to stick around and watch this video shows that you're looking to create a major shift in your life. And let me tell you this, it takes minor moves to create a major shift. A mountain is not climbed in one giant leap. It is climbed in thousands, if not millions, of tiny little steps. In the words of Les Brown, baby, you ain't gotta be great to get started, but you gotta get started to be great. Can I get one? Can I get one? Yes. Yes. You just gotta be willing to let go of what you can't control. Focus on what you can, and don't take on more than you can handle, man. You gotta focus on just doing right by you. And that right there is doing right by everybody else. You gotta take care of you, because you matter just as much as anyone else that you care about, man. Listen, we're all on our own independent journey. We're on our own independent growth search for more abundance, more magnificent, maybe more enlightenment. But we all have our different road to travel, baby. We can't rely on anyone or anything else for our journey. It's cool to have people alongside of you on that road and on that path, but they can't be relied upon, man. Believe in you. Believe in what you can accomplish and achieve, and continue to set out and get after it every single day. Remember, like I said, a couple of key points. Minor shifts create major moves. Give more time and energy to things and thoughts that empower instead of devour. And remember that you've got what it takes. So go out there and make it happen. You've got this. Thank you for your time. Be sure to share the video with someone you know, and have an exquisite day. I appreciate you. Let's go.